Hey friends, it's Tracy. Welcome to today's video. I am going to share a Valentine truck door hanger with you. Now guys, this door hanger was part of my segment for Craft Round the Clock, which is a free Facebook group. And so we usually have it 45 minutes to craft, but I need a little bit more time than that. So I'm going to show you from start to finish of how I painted this whole thing, how I painted the truck, the actual board, how I made the bow, how I hand painted this and hand lettered it, how I attached everything together. I'm so glad that you're here, guys. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. To my table so that you can see what we're going to create. So you can see my table. You can also see me up here in the corner. And so that is just something that I'm trying out. Just to see how everything works. So I appreciate you being here. Okay, like I said, I get lots of requests for trucks, and so that's what I'm going to do. And they're actually still a lot of very popular in my area. Thank you so much, sweet Kimberly. She is sprinkled from Cookville. Hello, Carolyn. Thank y'all so much for being here. Sweet Cynthia is watching from New York. And guys, I will go back later and read all the comments, answer any questions that I may miss. Hello, Vicky from Texas. I'm in Texas also, in a little town called Brenham. We're famous for Bluebell ice cream. I always throw that out there because it kind of gives a landmark of where everyone is located. Okay, so what I'm going to do is do a Valentine door hanger. Yes, and it's going to have a truck and it's going to have a cute sign. Now, guys, just to prep just a little bit, why am I putting that over there? I went ahead and I did a few things ahead of time, but don't worry, because when I do upload my video to my YouTube channel, I give you the whole video from start to finish. Since I am on my segment of Craft Round the Clock, I only have 45 minutes to craft, and so I put a lot of stuff into my videos. So when I share my picture, I will share a link for the video replay of, when I upload it to my YouTube channel so that you can see it from start to finish. I'll show you how I painted this, how I actually cut it off of this wood sign. This is what this is, and it was too wide, so I went ahead and used my box blade, cut that down. I'm going to show you that all on the video that I upload to my YouTube channel. And so also I'll show you from start to finish how I did this, as well as how I made the bow and all of that stuff. And so that's what I'm saying. That's what I do. That's what I've been trying to do, just to accommodate everyone. Hello, sweet Amy. Thank y'all so much for being here. Okay, so I'm starting with, this is a 15-inch round. It's a wood round. Now I left this unpainted just to show you that it is wood, but all the time, every time, I always finish my backs. I always finish the backs. And so I paint them or either add scrapbook paper or that kind of thing, but I just didn't get to it yet. So this is using one coat of plaster chalk paint. This is just the color that I like to use, just plaster chalk paint, and that's all it needed. It covers very well. Now this is a 15-inch round, and I get my wood rounds from burrowwood.com. burrowwood.com. Hey, Tony. And so for the truck, I was fortunate last year. I found some of these chip decor trucks on sale at Hobby Lobby for $1.24. So I'm using one of those, and it's pretty thick, and there's like nothing, it didn't have like a little tailgate. I mean, not, any like fence, like those. This Dollar Tree or something has little fences. It's just, this is just, you get what you get and you don't throw a fit. So we're going to be doing that. And so I'm going to try my best to get everything done. But if I don't, then I will finish it up and it will be included in the actual video itself. Okay. All right. So, for this right here, you know what? We need to go ahead and paint our truck so that it can be drying. And so, I'm going to give it a coat of this crimson color because I like this color of red. And so I decided to use it. And I just prefer chalk paint if I like the color. Hey, Leanne. Okay, so I'm not going to do anything, you know, like really do a whole lot of extras on the truck, because I really just want it to be just a sweet door hanger. So I'm going to paint the sides, and my goodness gracious, yes, I'm slopping it everywhere. I should have put my apron on. So I'm just going to paint here. Not going to worry about painting the back because it's going to be covered. It's going to be, you know, adhered, glued onto my door hanger. So I'm not going to worry about that. Hey, Michelle. Michelle says it's a pretty red, and I think so too. And I should have taken my pencil and drew out my wheels. I tell you, every time I put myself a pencil in here, my grandson must come in here and he takes my pencils. So now I'm going to have to get another pencil. That silly boy. So let me use this. This is one of those friction pens. I just got mine from Amazon. And so I'm just kind of guesstimating. It's invisible ink. It's invisible ink. So I'm just kind of guesstimating. My tires, just kind of guesstimating that right there. And so I'll paint that black. So like I said, it has been a hot minute since I have been on Craft Round the Clock, probably since September, that I scheduled a segment of Craft Round the Clock. And so it was just, you know, I just get busy. Fall is very, very busy for me for like wreaths, and then we had Christmas and all that stuff. And so I did do one event, was it in November or October? Gosh, time, the year is flying by so fast. And I did the Away in a Manger event. And then I'm like, I really need to get back on that. And then, you know, if I had a penny for every thought, you know what I'm saying? And then time just kind of passes by. And so I said, 2023, I am going to schedule segments of Craft Round the Clock. Somebody said they're new. If you're new here, welcome, guys. I appreciate y'all so much. Michelle says she's new from California. Welcome, everyone. And then we have another Michelle from Colorado. Thanks so much. Hello, Cynthia. Okay, so I'm going to give it a coat of that. And then just for the tire, since I have this right here, I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I do get questions. Why do you use chalk paint versus acrylic paint? This is acrylic. This is chalk paint. It honestly really depends on what I'm doing, and then also what kind of surface I am doing it on. So, hello, Jackie from Alberta, Canada. Wow. It's just amazing how we can all connect this big old world, and we can all connect. Hi, Crystal. Oh, Kimberly's new from upstate New York. Welcome. Welcome to my page. Welcome to Craft Round the Clock. If you're not familiar with Craft Round the Clock, it is a place where you can watch crafting videos 24/7. Usually there is a live creator every 45 minutes, Monday through Friday. Usually, I'm going to say 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. Give or take. It just depends, you know, how the schedule falls and what Miss Tracy, who is the mastermind behind Craft Round the Clock, whatever she has scheduled. And so you don't have to be an actual presenter. It actually is a free group that you can join, and you can see crafters, like I said, 24/7, either live or on the replay. So, meaning, you know, they're no longer live, but you can see there. And there's just a slew of creatives that are just absolutely it's phenomenal. It is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set that to the side to dry. And so I need to use this. And I forgot a part of my wheel. I wanted to have that truck painted so that I wouldn't run into this issue. So that's all right. If I get some of this on the back of my door hanger, that's not a problem at all because I'm going to paint it anyway. I just don't want to get red everywhere. So Sparkle says, craft around the clock sure comes in handy when the insomnia kicks in. Girl, I hear ya. I hear ya. So it really is. It's a free group to join. And like I said, it should be in the description of the video. Okay, so then my truck's going to go here. My sign's going to go here. So I want to create a border. So just getting my black paint and using this 3/4 inch flat paintbrush. Now I do get questions all of the time about what paintbrushes I like to use. They are linked in my Amazon favorite store, but honestly, you can get good quality paintbrushes anywhere. And so if you're just interested in paintbrushes that I use, because these are like my favorite. So for my door hanger, I'm just going to start somewhere and just start making a border. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it, going around just to make, just paint a border. So, I got me a little splatter right there. That's okay. We're going to leave that because, you know, I like to splatter paint. I'm a bit old school. I love my happy dots. I love my torn edges. And splattering makes me so happy. And so I do have a library full of just different crafting videos. I've been doing this for several years and doing mostly pre-recorded videos on YouTube, which I still do. That is my preference because I kind of put a lot into and kind of add this and add that to it and more than one project. And so that is my preference, but I do like to do the live too because it kind of shows from start to finish of how I do something. And so that's why I like to do this. Thank y'all for the hearts. Thank you. And thank you for spreading the charm. That is kind of my way of saying sprinkle it out. If you would, if you have like a free group somewhere that will, you know, that allows, you know, the videos and that kind of thing. We do appreciate that. We do. I'm going to be putting a bow at the top, and so put a hanger on it, you know, and that kind of thing. So, all right, we're going to let that dry. So then my truck's going to go here, and like I said, my sign is going to go there. So move this over here. All right. So I'm not going to do anything too fancy smancy on the truck. And what I mean by that is if you have watched any of my truck videos, I do kind of like to add a lot. But sometimes, you know, you don't need all of that, you know, 'cause sometimes less is more when it comes to, you know, you want the sign and you want the door hanger itself and the bow maybe to be the focus of it. Thank y'all so much for watching today. My name is Tracy, and my crafting page is Country Charm by Tracy. I am on Facebook as well as on YouTube. And then also it is my segment of Craft Around the Clock. And so I'm so glad you made it too, Christine. I'm so glad that you're here. All right, so let me hit this real quick with my heat tool so that it kind of dries up a little bit. All these crafting tools that we have. Okay. All right. Okay. So I kind of go back and forth. I go back and forth. So then also what I like to do is, and I should have done that a while ago while I had it in front of me, but it's okay. I try not to sweat the small stuff. All right, so Sybil says she was just working on a red truck sign. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, guys, is just paint around the side. And I'm just taking just a brush and just going around like the border. And so if you like my style of crafting, please check out my YouTube channel where I have just playlists full of just different crafting ideas and different hand painted stuff. I do like to do wreaths as well. I need to get some wreaths done for the gift shop that I designed for. I need to get some Valentine wreaths done. They want that. I am in a little town called Brenham, Texas, home of Bluebell. So just going around here and making a border. Just paint the side. Now we'll paint the back and clean up, anything that I may have got a little touch-ups of stuff. Okay. All right. So thanks for being here. Okay. So just kind of drying this up so I don't mess up, because I do. I put my fingers in it and it is not fun. Yeah, it is not fun. So, but that's all right. Like I always tell my community, it's just paint. Paint over it. The horrible thing is that you kind of, have to paint over the work that you've already done. This is my segment of Craft Around the Clock. And so anything that I don't finish, I will include in the video when I upload it. All right. So I have these brushes. I've had these for a little while, but I've never used them. So I thought that I would use them today. These are from Hobby Lobby, my favorite store. And so I'm going to make a background. And I say that I like to do a faux plaid pattern. But I found these. This is Artist Brush Set. It says watercolor and acrylic. And so, like I said, they're from Hobby Lobby. Get them when they're on sale, because they put them on sale pretty regularly. So look at this. I always use my fan brush to create the background. But I found this. I thought, let's try that and see. Okay. So then for a background, I'm going to use Granite Gray. I saw my friend Leanne say something. What did she say? Oh, girl, I feel for you. I've had that happen. Can choke on my own. Girl, I know. She said, Leanne Dina's Crafts and Creations says she can choke on her own spit. That's probably what I was doing, sweet friend. I was. Guys, if you are a business owner, come on here, come on this page as your business page. And if y'all will please follow anyone that is on, because guys, we just love to do this. And anyone, we would just love to have you. So, all right. So then I'm going to use this brush. Sorry, my head's going to be out of the way, but I need to stand up for this. So I'm trying this with you for the first time, and I like it. So I call this a faux plaid pattern. So I'm just gonna kind of go down. And if I get on the black a little bit, which I do, because I do that all the time, I just clean it up with my paint. I like these brushes. Oh my goodness. It's from this set, Artist Brush Set. And it had this one and then this one right here that has like little spaces in it. So I'm just going to make a faux plaid. I say faux because it's not really a buffalo check. It's like my faux plaid pattern. So if you're just hopping on the page, we're making a Valentine door hanger with a red truck. I know there are some people that are over the red trucks, but that is probably one of the most requested things that I still get is please do another truck video. And so that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. Okay, so and then my allergies are kicking in. Gotta love living in Texas. Gotta love living in Texas. So what I'm going to do is just try to dry this up really quick here so that we can move on to the fun stuff. Fun stuff. Like I said, I do upload all of my videos to my YouTube channel, which is Country Charm by Tracy. And so I will show you, I'm on my segment at Craft Round the Clock, but in the video that I upload to YouTube, I will show you the other parts of anything that I've already done so that I can show you from start to finish how I did this door hanger. And so when I post the picture and share, I will also include a link to that video so that if you want to see, if you're interested in that, you know, that kind of thing. Brenda says she can't cut straight lines. Girl, now, I don't want anyone to feel bad. I have been doing this for just a hot minute. Just for a hot minute. And so, like I encourage, you know, my community when I do a painting video, if you mess up, just paint over it. You know, just paint over it and, you know, then there you go. Okay. See, like right here, I got some on, like some gray right there. So I need to go back up and clean that, you know? And so, okay. So I kind of like work in sections. It's like, okay, that's dry. So then let me do this now. Okay. All right. Leanne, you can't paint buffalo check without tape. Me either. It's been a while. Honestly, I don't like doing it because it takes so long. And then I mess up the tape. Like I mess up the, I don't get my tape right. And then I get frustrated. And so then I just don't do it. Then I just don't do it. Okay. I do like to add a little bit of shading to my projects. So I just have, this is just a punch cup. And so then I just put some water in there. And so I like to shade. I'm going to do black. So I just have a flat paintbrush and I dip half of my brush in paint, the other half in clean water. And then I just kind of like just give my projects a little dimension, depth and dimension. I love my doodles and my squiggles and all that stuff. and love to share these gifts and talents that the good Lord has given to me. I love to share them with others. And so if you don't think you can do it, you can. It's not perfect. I don't want it to be perfect. If I want it perfect, I would go to Hobby Lobby or somewhere else and buy it, you know? And people just need to appreciate handmade, right? Need to appreciate handmade. Okay, so white. Here we go. Need some white because I want to. I may need that, so let me put this to the side here. Alrighty. So, like I said, I am on my segment of Craft Round the Clock. So I have 45 minutes to craft, and then the next presenter will be on in there. All you have to do is refresh the page. So anything that I don't get finished with, I will include in the video that I upload to my YouTube channel. So that way you can see from start to finish how I finish everything, how I do everything. And you know I'm not everybody's style, because there's some people that I'm like, no, you know, but then there's others I'm like, oh yes, I want to see the whole thing. So I say that only to say I get it. I totally get it. Sparkle says, I'll pay for a handmade item to decorate any day over buying mass-produced item. You are so right, and we so appreciate you. So appreciate you. Okay. Oh, and thank you. If any of my sweet friends are answering any questions that maybe others may have, I do appreciate you, because I am a one-woman band, a one-woman show. So I do appreciate that. All right. So I'm just taking some of that white paint, and I know I'm going to need more, because I want to... let me see. Do I want to make me... Guys, usually I make white walls to the tires, but what I did already is I've already painted these, and I'll show those in the video that when I upload it to YouTube. These are 1-inch split balls, and so I just got them from Hobby Lobby, and so I've already painted them with this metallic silver paint. That's what I painted them. And every time I do this, I always get a comment, a question. I use my friend Alyssa, who is Southern Crafts Corner. I use her technique with the stick where you just hot glue and then you can paint all around it. And so I just painted the things that I needed. And so I want to give her props, because I always use her technique of just put it on there. And I always get a little bit too much glue. And so I don't know. I was going to use my sponge brush. This is I got some little spouncer. Is that what these called? Sponge daubers. Spouncer brushes. And I like to make a white wall. This is the medium one. I got this from Dollar Tree. It comes with the bigger one and then the smaller one. And so I just take these, and let me get a little bit more paint. And then just push that down. Okay, then I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to put my little hubcaps on there. But I need to get this glue off. I got it a little too thick. It's been a while since I've used that little stick trick that Alyssa uses from Southern Crafts Corner, but I need to file that off, because the hot glue kind of gets a little thick on there. So, all right. Now, we're going to put our little doodles on, because that's what I love to do. That's what I love to do. Thanks, guys, for watching today. So I'm just using a really, really thin liner brush, and I do love my doodles and my squiggles. and just kind of go around, just kind of add just a little extra. If this is not your style, I'm just here for inspiration. Do things exactly the way that you know, your preference. But I do appreciate all of your kind comments. I do. I greatly, greatly, greatly do. Okay. All right. Like I said, I do put lots into my projects. So when I get finished with this, then when my segment is over for Craft Around the Clock, then I will, you know, finish all of this up, and then I will upload my video to YouTube, and it will show you from start to finish of how I do this whole thing. This Gorilla Glue is thick. I'm gonna have to work on those. Okay. All right. So then the hubcaps are going to go on there. So what we're making is a door hanger. My truck is going to go right here. My sign, my Valentine sign is going to go right here. And then I show how, in the video, I do show how I make this bow just using some deco mesh and some ribbon. I usually get my ribbon from Craft Outlet. I think all of this ribbon is from Craft Outlet, even though I did buy a couple, I did buy some of this red and Snowball. Well, it has the little puffies on it from Hobby Lobby. And so, thanks, Leanne. Leanne said you can heat the glue up with your heat gun. Thank you. That's why I love this community. Everyone is so supportive and so helpful. Anyway, so I do need to shade. I love to shade like I shaded the truck. I'm going to shade all of this. And what I like to use is this brown. I like to shade, and I'll add some dots to it. Now, for my Valentine sign, I'm going to add a glittery red heart for the eye of for the dot of my eye. So I didn't forget to dot my eye. I'm going to use a glittery red heart, but I wanted to make sure and get all of my stuff shaded and all of that stuff so that, and I'll show you that in the YouTube video, because I don't want to run over for Craft Around the Clock, because I want to be considerate for the next presenter. So what I'm going to do also is put a door, not a door hanger. I'm going to use this, some sisal twine as my hanger. I'm going to just staple it to the back. I'll show you that in the video. And then for the truck, for my heart, let's see, where'd my little heart go? Right here. So I got these. I just picked them up the other day. They're called ornaments, but they're already painted. They're already painted. They've already done it for us at the Dollar Tree. And so I'm going to do that. Oh, I was thinking that I painted the wrong side. These are actually already painted, both sides. So you can use it whichever side you want. Because when I had pulled it out of the package, I said, this is how I had it where it was going to lay. Just like that. And I had to paint this white, because this is one of these, you know, just natural color. And so then it wasn't lining up, and I was like, I was puzzled. So that's going to go like that. And then I have some of these hearts too. Now these are from Dollar Tree, I think last year or a couple years ago. And then I was going to put like the hearts coming out from the truck. I'll show that in the video, I promise. Gonna be using some Excelsior, because you know I love my Excelsior. And oh, thanks, Amy, from the Painted Spindle. Thank you. Guys, like I said, if you see a crafting page, please go follow everyone, because we just really appreciate it. We really, really do, and all of that stuff. So I'm going to be putting some hearts, like the hearts are right here. I need to put some, for my trucks, I like to use that metallic silver to add you know, just put some, like a bumper and like a headlight. And just this metallic silver, I get this at Hobby Lobby. Hobby Lobby. And it just adds a little sparkle, a little something, something extra to it. Me adding my hearts here. And so I probably will use the end of my paintbrush like this one and put dots in all of the around the door hanger. Like I said, you know, at 3 o'clock, that's when my time ends, and I just want to be respectful of everyone. So I'm going to do that. Put my bow on there. I'll show you how I made my bow and everything. I will paint splatter because that's what I like to do. That's everything that I love to do. Okay, guys. All right, so that's what I'm going to do. For my sign, I'm using one of these out of a pack from Hobby Lobby. They're the Wood Pile brand. I love them because they are a little jagged on the ends. But this sign is a little too wide, so I wanted to score it and just make it a little bit smaller. So I score it by using my box blade and a ruler and just going back and forth, back and forth. These signs are very thin wood, so I just take my time and score it, like I said, on my mat here. And so then I take my sanding sponge just to, you know, sand off any of the little rough edges. Then I give it a coat of the plaster color chalk paint. Then for the border, I'm just using that crimson red as well. That I did the same that I did for the truck, and just using my flat paintbrush, I just kind of eyeball a border. And so this kind of method just works for me because I've been painting signs for such a long time. But of course, you can always you know, measure it out with a ruler so that, you know, you can follow your lines with your border. So then I'm going to start hand lettering. Well, first, what I want to do is put just a slight, you know, kind of a faded background on my sign. And I do that using some granite gray paint and a thin liner brush just to add some lines, just to give just some interest to the sign. And so I know it doesn't really pick up on camera, but you can really see it, you know, kind of in real person. But I just kind of eyeball the lines, and as you can see, as I get a little bit wider here at the end, but that's all right. It's, hey, it just adds to the character of the sign, and it's not perfect. And so then what I'll do is start hand lettering Be My Valentine. Now I'm taking a number 2 flat paintbrush that is in my favorite paintbrushes. This is my favorite size to do hand lettering like this. And so it has taken me, you know, many trial and error when it comes to you know, hand lettering. And I do thank the Lord above for the gifts and the talents to share. But I just take my time. First, I hand like air draw it so that I kind of get my placement, because guys, yes, I do mess up and then I have to repaint it, just like I encourage all of my community. So I just air draw it out just to make sure that my letters are going to fit. So I am just going to hand letter Be My Valentine, and then I will add my happy dots because they make me so happy. I dip half of my brush in paint, the other half in water, and then I blend on a paper towel. And sometimes I dip the other side in it then, you know, if I'm not watching. So what I'm doing is just adding a little bit of shading around this part of the sign. And again, I'm going to put a glitter red glitter heart for the dot. So, but I want to get all my painting done first before I do any, put that on there, because that's going to take a little bit of time to dry. Okay, then now I am going to add just a little bit of brown shading using that same milk chocolate brown paint, just to kind of shadow my letters. I just like that look. And sometimes that's why I put my swooshes in my happy dots after I get all the shading done. I don't know why I did that today, because I don't want the brown to be on my happy dots. Like in the little swooshes in the happy dots. I don't want it to be brown on there. So usually I do it after. I don't know, whatever reason I did it before. But usually I add the little white in the happy dots after, because I want them to be crisp. I want them to be crisp. And I totally forgot this happy dot. I'll never know what you're going to see the next time when you see something. You're like, totally missed that. There we go. Oh, I missed on the E too. Oh, whatever. Can't take me anywhere. It's okay. We're good. Okay, I'm going to take my ultrafine, the fine point Sharpie marker, and then just kind of go around here, kind of like where the plaster white paint meets the red. Just add a little bit of doodling. Okay, this is the brown I'm going to use, and just use my flat paintbrush. Oh my goodness, I don't even have any water in there. I cleaned out my water because I had used white a while ago, and I needed, brown. So what I do, guys, is I just take my flat paintbrush, dip half of my brush in paint, the other half in clean water, and if I mess up, like I just did, because I didn't know which side I had the paint on and what side I had the water on. So I just rinsed out my brush, and then I blend on these blue paper towels. I get these, I like the shop towels. I just buy a big old bundle of them from Sam's, and I just like them. They're a little bit thicker than just regular paper towels. And so I'm just adding a little bit of shading, so you can see how I took it from, it just kind of adds a little bit of dimension, as well as just a little bit of the country looks, the country whimsical looks that I like. And so then now I'm just going and adding a little bit to the faux plaid pattern. And it's okay. I want it to be a little bit darker in some areas. I like that. I think it adds a little bit of interest. So I just did that. I'm just taking my black paint, just going around and just kind of hitting where I got some of that granite gray on some of my border. See how this is a little bit, I got some of that streaks in there. So I'm just kind of cleaning it up is what I'm doing. Kind of cleaning that up a little bit. I need to go back over it with my plaster color chalk paint and kind of clean that up right there as well. Okay, then now I'm going to go around and add some shading to this, to the outside. I was going to do that anyway. I was going to add some highlight, so I'll go ahead and do that now. So I'm just using that crimson red and just the end of a big paintbrush, and I'm just putting the dots in it. And if it doesn't do it correctly, then I dip my paint into my paintbrush back in there. I'm going to take my ultrafine Sharpie marker and just add a little bit of doodling to the faux plaid pattern. Now I'll add some black splattering to my actual door hanger. And then go back and add some white. I'm going to take a thicker black Sharpie marker and just add a little bit of doodling around the edge here where like the stripes kind of meet the other part. So for my hubcaps, I used 1-inch split balls from Hobby Lobby. I painted them metallic silver, and then I got the hot glue off with my heat tool, and just by picking it off. So then I like to use E6000 as well as hot glue. The E6000 gives it the permanent hold, and then hot glue gives it the instant hold. I'm going to be doing some paint splattering, and my method is with a stiff brush and a stick, and I just run my stick across the bristles, like toward my body, one time across the bristles. I never go back that way because the paint's gonna go on me. So I do black, and then I'm gonna go back and do white over it. Okay, we're going to start assembling the truck, and some of my dots are not quite dry yet. So once I get everything on, what I'll do is I will give it a coat of varnish using this varnish. I get it from Michael's, and it's a gloss varnish because I like the glossy look. So I'm going to use this right here, and I'll give it a coat of that. But I want to go ahead and get these on. So I just want to make sure and know my placement. So I have a little bit of this Excelsior that I'm going to add here just to kind of break it up just a bit. And then I have these hearts that I'm just going to kind of put a few of those on here. Wanted to kind of make it look like the like hearts are like floating off of the truck, so like they're like lifting off of the truck. For the side of the truck, I decided to use this one that has some glitter on it. Now, it was already glittered from the pack from the Dollar Tree. So this one didn't have painted on both sides, so I decided to use a natural one. And just kind of stack those just like that. These are the ribbons I'm using for the bow. Like I said, all of these came from Craft Outlet. And so for this right here, I'm going to use about 18 inches. This is the only mat. I don't have my big mat. So that's 10. And then just kind of guesstimating it. Just kind of guesstimating it. And then I cut 2 of these at 10 inches. Dovetail both of these. I cut this this one also at 10 inches. Give or take. Don't need that anymore. Okay. So this right here, I'm just using just to hold it. This is my Easy Bow Maker. It just kind of helps hold things. Okay, so what I do is I just kind of roll up the ends just a little bit. And depending on how tight you roll them will depend on how big your loops are, like right here. So I kind of want them a little bit bigger on the end. I don't want them so tight. So this is just gonna be my fingers. Just kind of put them in there. Just like that. Fold it in half to find the center. That there in there. So then this one also came from Craft Outlet. All of these ribbons did. So what I'm going to do is make about a 3-inch loop. Make 2 3-inch loops. So like I just hold it in the middle, I twist it, and then I go like that. Or I could use my little tiny attacher, my little stapler, put a staple in there, because I want to make sure that my tails are the right way. And get a zip tie. Okay, I have a zip tie, and I'm just going to slide it through there, gather it in the middle. I decided to add a couple of pip berries underneath here, just kind of sticking it in that mesh, since I have my steel picks on there, just sticking that underneath there like that. And these berries are from Hobby Lobby, and I'll spread them out a little bit later. So then now I'm just gonna pull this really tight. Also going to dovetail the ends of this black ribbon so that it looks nice. And then once I get it on, I'll make sure everything is fluffed out, make sure my berries will look really nice once I attach it to my door hanger. For the hanger, I'm going to use just this sisal twine. Just rope twine. I get this from Hobby Lobby in the rope section. And this is the reason why you use wired ribbon, because if it gets smashed, you can reform it back. And what I do is just fluff out my bow. Again, that's the reason why we use wired ribbon, because it perks right back up. And once I finished putting my bow on, I was looking at the Excelsior and I was like, that needs a little something. It just looked a little too plain. So I pulled out these little flowers from Hobby Lobby. They're greenery. It has these little buds on them. And I got pink and I have white. And Hobby Lobby has these all year round in their bushes section. So I think it's just the perfect touch to add to my little red truck.